Hello country people, photos of 28 cars and funny popular nicknames given to them by Nigerians. It is normal these days to hear cars called by their nicknames more than their original names in Nigeria. It's already a part of our culture to give cars names for some reasons. It could be due to the looks, the size, specifications, type of people driving it, etc. Here are 28 cars and their Nigerian names which you might find funny. Volkswagen Beetle Ijapa. The Volkswagen Beetle was quite popular in Nigeria in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Its official name is Volkswagen Type 1 or the Beetle. However, Nigerians call it tortoise or Ijapa. The car has some resemblance with the tortoise in its shape. Honda Accord 1985 Pure Water. The Honda Accord 1985 was nicknamed Pure Water by Nigerians due to how common it was during the 90s. You know, pure water is a common thing in Nigeria, it's everywhere. It's selling like pure water. That thing is everywhere. Now the Honda Accord 1990, Honda Hala. One of the most common cars of the middle earners in Nigeria from 2008 to 2014. Honda Hala represents the fourth generation of the Accord. It is dubbed as Honda Hala in most parts of the country. Honda Accord 1993 to 1998 European spec, they call it Bullets. Honda Bullets. The Honda Accord is of the European specification and is called Bullet because of its shape. Shape as if it's bullet. Honda Accord 1993 US spec, Honda Bulldog. Very common in the 2000s. It is a fifth generation Honda Accord, popularly nicknamed Bulldog. What about the Honda Accord 1999 US spec? They call it Baby Boy. Famous in the early 20s, it was a car used by high-end Nigerians till it went out of vogue in the late 2000s. The name Baby Boy is said to have been gotten from the movie Baby Boy starring Snoop Dogg and Tyrese Gibson, released in 2001. You know that film Baby Boy, a black American film. Honda Accord 1998 to 2002, European spec, Honda Adidas, Nigeria shall be named. Not as common as most of other Honda Accord cars, but it was given the nickname Honda Adidas. Toyota Starlet 1984 to 1989, they call it feeding bottle. One of the few cars that was used in the 80s and had a nickname in Nigeria. It was given the nickname feeding bottle. Now Toyota Corolla Liftback in 1987, they call it First Lady. And this was a car driven by the elite in the early 90s in Nigeria. The liftback car was usually driven by females, and it's why it was given the name First Lady. Toyota Camry 1992 to 1996, they call it Orobo. Orobo. Orobo is a Yoruba word meaning thick or fat. The name Orobo was brought about due to the Toyota Camry being thicker than the model before it. Yes, the models before it. Now we have the Toyota Camry 1997 to 1999 spec. They call it pencil mouth. Pencil, you know, still one of the most used cars presently in Nigeria. The Toyota Camry released in 1997 came as a surprise, and the previous model was thick. The tail lights were like that of a pencil, as if you want to draw something with it. That is the reason it was called pencil. Now we have the Toyota Camry, still Toyota Camry, and 1999 to 2001 they call it envelope. Very similar to the model before it. The difference in looks between the two are the tail lights. That is the reason for this car being called envelope. The taillights resemble that of an envelope. Then let's try Volvo 200/700 series wagon. They call it coffin. And the Volvo 200/700 series wagons are known for their ruggedness. They have the projecting so-called coffin nose and grille. This was perhaps what informed the nickname coffin in Nigeria. This coupled with the fact that it is commonly used as a hearse, a vehicle for conveying the dead in coffin and casket. Could you imagine? Mercedes-Benz 200/230, 1980. They call it regular or flat boot. It was named regular Benz or flat boot to distinguish it from other types of Benz at the time. There was another model of Benz nicknamed V-boot at the time. It was shipped in from Germany in high numbers in the 90s. If you don't get V-boot for 90s, and was arguably the most common cars of the decade. It is very common to see them in Nollywood movies of the late 90s and the early 2000s. Now we have the Mercedes-Benz W124 E-Class in 1985 to 1996. We call it V-Boot. And the Mercedes-Benz W124 E-Class was a car of the elite in the 90s and early 2000s. It was given the name V-Boot due to the shape of the boot, which is like that of letter V, like this. Now Mercedes-Benz 190, 1982 to 1993, baby Benz. This was, you know that baby Benz now. I remember one of my friends has it in Lagos. We always use it to cruise around. This was an exquisite car back in the 90s. It looks very similar to the V-Boot. It is usually called baby Benz. Now the Mercedes-Benz W114 to W115, 1968 to 1976, they call it Murtala. And the Mercedes-Benz W114/15 had a production run from 1968 to 1976. It was popular in Nigeria amongst the affluent and political leaders. It was nicknamed Murtala by Nigerians, popularly due to the fact that it was the model of Mercedes-Benz that the late head of state, Murtala Mohammed, was assassinated in. Now, Mercedes-Benz S-Class W126, in 1979 to 1991, they call it Shagari. The Mercedes-Benz S-Class 1979 was popularly known as Shagari by Nigerians. The name was given to the car because it was the official car model of the President Shehu Shagari in 1979 when he became president. Mercedes-Benz S-Class 1991 Beast. The 1991 Mercedes-Benz S500 was referred to as the Beast in the 90s and early 2000s. The reference was due to its intimidating presence among other cars on the road then. Let's get back to Toyota again. Toyota Corolla 2003 bank type. The banks, they were known with some specific cars. This particular brand of Toyota Corolla was widely used by bankers nationwide, leading to many calling it bank type. Toyota Camry 2003, Big Daddy or Big for Nothing. You know that Toyota Big is still up. Man, that Toyota helps so much. The boot is This Toyota Camry was dubbed Big for Nothing or Big Daddy because of its size. It was a relatively spacious car when it came out. Even till now, the boot there, I used it for my wedding. We carried enough in the boot. Now, Honda Accord 2003 to 2005, end of discussion or EOD. The Honda Accord 2003 earned its nickname end of discussion because it was the tagline used in the advert promoting the car. The name arose as a result of the unending debate about what brand is better between the Honda and Toyota, the two leading cars brands at the time. Lines were drawn and the cars were pitched against one another. Accord and Camry Civic and Corolla. Then Honda Accord 2003 was unveiled and it ended the comparison. What of Honda Accord 2006 to 2007? They say discussion continues, or DC. It's a popular name. The name discussion continues was relating to the previous model of Honda Accord, which stopped production in 2005, popularly called the end of discussion. Honda Accord 2012, they call it Evil Spirit. The name Evil Spirit came about due to the headlights of the car. It was said to be very bright at night and not allowing other cars to see. It's really a funny story. Toyota Camry 2007 to 2011, they call it Muzzle or Voltron or Spider. You know that car looks like somebody that is on the gym steady. This is one of the most popular cars nowadays. It's still popular and I still want to buy it. It's one of the most used cars in Nigeria at the moment. It was given the name Muzzle because of the solid exterior. It looks like, those who are in gym. Look at the muzzles. Now let's get to Mercedes again. Mercedes 911 was Molue. The modified Mercedes-Benz 911 and Bedford vehicles were the most notorious means of mass transport in Lagos. Lagosians nicknamed the vehicle Molue. If you are not in Lagos, have you climbed Molue before? If you're in Lagos, you understand what I mean. All SUV vehicles, Jeep. Jeep is a brand of car with military history in the United States. But in Nigeria, any car that is a sport utility vehicle, SUV, has the tendency to be regarded as a Jeep. There's no need to correct Nigerians when they call SUVs Jeep anymore. It is useless. Then again, if you're in Lagos, you know about the transporter they call Danfo. I am a Danfo driver. You know those buses you saw on that music. The first Volkswagen transporter van rolled off the production line in Germany on March 8, 1950. It has gone out of vogue since then. In Nigeria, it is widely used for commercial transportation, especially in Lagos. It goes by the nickname Danfo. This nickname is also ascribed to several commercial buses in Lagos, just like I said. This material was created from Opera News, content created and supplied by News Hub Creator. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I'm Azuka OJ. Bye.